Is there a...
Oh, no, just put them on.
Okay.
And then underneath there's the bottom.
Oh, okay.
My goodness. This is what happens. You just, it's like a mini family reunion here.
I love it.
I know.
I love it. It's so
We
nice
have
to
to
be
give
back
you-
and to see you.
We have to put the microphone closer to you.
Sorry.
And then we're going to put
the.
But yeah, they came in and we just started talking.
Yes.
Now we
It
have
just
Christmas.
happens because we're so shy. All of us are so shy and so quiet.
Well, you know what? This is just amazing what you've done in your life. I mean, we just met this year.
I know. And I've just fallen in love with you because you're so wonderful.
I feel
You're
the
great
same
at
way.
what you do.
And what we're saying, well, first of all, thank you. Welcome back, 1520 WBCW. This is your hometown with Debbie O'Brien. And we have the best guest ever, right?
Oh, my God.
We met her, like 4 months ago? Something like that.
Something like that.
Elisa Camera.
Yep.
And she has Brittany Annock here.
Hello. Mannock.
Mannock.
Yes.
We met your husband
Yes, you
the
did.
last time.
He does a great job with my web designs, and she does a great job behind the scenes.
Behind
so
the
I'm blessed.
scenes.
I'm blessed. Yes.
Yes. I'm blessed to be a part of it
This
myself.
is so wonderful because you have started the Patriot Pup, which is this book series for
Yes.
little ones,
Yes.
teaching them patriotism.
Yes. You
And
got it.
then because of your brother,
Yes.
who passed away, was killed in Beirut.
Yes.
And you have a book written called American Brother.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And then this
You're
weekend, can you explain what you did? Because like I don't understand. Like
Oh
I
my
know it was a huge ceremony,
Yes.
but like I don't know what this means.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
this was a huge event, historically speaking also for the state of West Virginia. It's been 14 years since they've named a new Marine Corps League detachment, and they just did it this weekend, and they named it after my brother, the Sergeant Mecott Camera Marine Corps League Detachment number 1461 out of Beckley, West Virginia.
Out of Beckley.
Yes, out of Beckley, West
Gosh,
Virginia.
that's like the hub up there.
It is. Yes, it is. Southern West Virginia. Beckley's like the metropolis, and
Yes.
we're really blessed. Yeah.
Okay, so what does this mean? Like, what is that? What is
So,
that?
so the Marine Corps League Detachment is definitely part of the United States Marines. So when a Marine is served his term, served his duty, then they can go on. It's actually the way they said it this weekend is beautiful. It's a brotherhood, a fraternity of Marines that's everlasting, ever bonding, even past their active duty status.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is named after your brother.
Yes, yes, yes. It was huge. Yeah, I cried big tears.
I'm
I was
sure.
so, yeah, he would have been so happy. I couldn't even like thank them enough afterwards because I just said he's smiling down from heaven, and it's such an honor because he's not forgotten.
Mhm.
And I said, let it represent all of them that died that day because that's what he would want. So even though it's named after him, it represents all of the 241 that died that day. And I know that's what he'd want
241 were killed that day.
in one day.
Isn't
Mhm.
that something?
Yeah, it was the largest loss of life for the Marines since the Tet Offensive and the largest non-nuclear explosion before 9/11.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a lot of historical significance to
Yeah.
the Beirut bombing, and I wish it was taught more in our public schools so that people, there's so much to learn from history.
Mhm.
And I wish every teenager, every child could spend 15 or 20 minutes with a veteran and get to feel what they felt and gain an appreciation for our freedom.
Yeah, that being said, what we witnessed with the Vietnam Memorial Wall here that weekend,
Yes, that's amazing that it was here.
that the energy and
Yes.
everything that you feel, it just comes at you all at once.
All
and
at
so
once.
to talk to the men who served our country in the different wars, because there were,
Yes.
men from all over, and they couldn't talk on air.
Okay.
So it was during the commercial. They couldn't because they didn't want to.
Of course. I understand that
Right.
completely.
And out of total respect, oh my goodness, we're just going to talk just to learn about you.
Exactly.
And Michelle and I were just sitting there, and you can just feel the goosebumps, the tears that would well up in us because their story.
Are so important.
Mm.
they're so moving. They're so moving, and our country needs to feel that energy and how moving it is, and how we need to value our freedom,
Very
especially
much.
right now. It really is a time to come together and be united, and spend just a few minutes with a veteran, and you'll get it.
You'll get it.
You'll
It's
get
not
it.
a sad thing. It's
No.
it's an overwhelming amount of emotions it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's
You
just-
cry tears, but you walk off and you feel good. Like, I just had the best conversation of my life. I just really learned to appreciate our country. I really learned what these guys have done for our freedom.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It brings it to life. You know, there's
Yes.
so many times people
Well said.
sit behind the keyboard and just throw out all this stuff. And you got to look around and wonder, where is that coming from?
Right.
But because we're reading it, we start to believe it. But
Yes.
honestly, the reality and the truth of the matter is that when you spend them, like you said,
Right.
just a few moments.
You are on it. Slam dunk on that for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, if you really, it just makes it come a lot. It makes it more human, more realistic, more sincere. Yeah. So it's so humbling if you can spend 5 minutes with a veteran, anyone. It's really worth the conversation. And you know what? Not only are you learning from them, but you're making them feel so good. I had a great experience with a World War II veteran in a VFW a few years ago. Nicest gentleman. He was probably like 91, 92, and it was his birthday. So of course I wanted to go over and go, happy birthday. Thank you so much for your service. We love you. And he was introduced to me as my brother was one of the fallen Marines. I wrote a book about him. And, I couldn't be more like, so nice to meet you. I really was like so enthralled to meet. I love to meet these guys. And he looked at me and he was so sincere. He said, no. He said, thank you for your sacrifice. He got it. And I just cried. I just cried. I thought I was trying to be on top of it by telling him, thank you so much for your for your service. And he came right back, and with one of those deep military voices, which, he really pulled it out there, being the age that he is. And he was like, oh no, thank you for your sacrifice. And I just hugged him and started crying. I'm like, that meant so much. It means a lot, especially for Gold Star families that have lost, their fallen heroes. It means a lot.
Yeah. And again, these are things that we don't think about. You don't feel it. But when you just reach out your hand, or just like you said, just walk past and say that, and be sincere. It's not that hard. And
Absolutely.
And what's so funny is, because of that Vietnam Veterans Memorial wall that was here,
that's so cool that happened.
It happened here. And
I
we
know.
can go.
That's so cool.
Yes.
They brought it here to our town, our community.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, the Rotary Club with Bill Spiegel, honestly, incredible.
Wow.
But talking to the men, sometimes they don't know how to say you're welcome.
They don't.
They don't know how to even reciprocate
They
the
don't.
thank you.
No, they don't.
We had women veterans on here, and they said the same thing. Sometimes they don't even want to talk about their service because they don't know how to talk about their service.
Right. Yeah. That's Jeff. That's my fiance. Same thing. He really doesn't like to talk about when people tell him thank you. He really doesn't even know what to respond.
Mm-hmm.
It just throws him for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that whenever you join the military, it's a calling.
Yes.
So it's almost like, well, this is what I wanted to do, so why are you thanking?
Yeah, it's so true. Definitely with my brother. Yeah, it's definitely a calling. He'd always wanted to be a Marine, and definitely his passion. If he were alive today, I'm sure he would still be doing something related to the Marine Corps.
I was gonna say, you think he'd still be in the Marines?
Oh, probably so.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. I think his dream job would have been a drill instructor with the United States Marines. Yeah, he could be very authoritative when he wanted. Coming from his little sister.
I was gonna say, he's your older brother.
Yes, of course. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
but it's been a great journey. The books have been a great journey, and you're so wonderful to have us. Thank you so much for having us back, and it means a lot to have the support of local community and local friends and family like you. So we appreciate you.
Well, this is such an honor to have you here, because you know what? So many people that have lost their loved ones, the Gold Star families, they don't know how to find their voice.
Right.
And you did. And so you're representing that.
We're trying. Someone said, you've turned a horrible, horrible tragedy into something incredible and positive. So we're trying. And I tell you, working the event with the Snowball Express and Gary Sinise and seeing the Gold Star families, It was so moving. Brittany, was it not moving?
It was absolutely incredible.
It was incredible. These children are amazing. And you know, they didn't have anything like that. I was 16 when my brother died. And I did feel different. I felt different. I'd already lost my dad, and then to lose my brother. You know, I felt different in school or at PTA events, or, you know, when your family's there to show up and you don't have family. It makes you feel different. But these kids, if you even talk to them for a few minutes, they loved being there because they don't feel different. They feel very similar to the other kids being there, and they feel like they can just be a kid. And it kind of is comforting and healing to them at the same time, and to their mom or dad who's still living, that's trying to do the best job parenting they can.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And to walk in their shoes, we have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
Just no idea. Yeah.
All right. You know what? We're going to take a break, and we're going to talk more with Elisa Camera, with Patriot Pup, American Brother, Christmas traditions. We got it all.
Awesome. That's awesome.
We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. 1520 WBZW. We'll be right back.
I'm so proud of you.
Okay, I can't hold that anymore.
Yeah, and you know what? You can share it from here too.
Okay, that video, I just,
Yeah.
they're watching me not move the whole time.
But since we're live, we can just, we can take it from your feed too. So yeah, just maybe just a couple of pictures. Or
Okay.
something. That's
Yeah, I
really
got
good.
video of that, most of that
Oh my
conversation,
gosh,
so there
that's
you go.
Perfect. That's perfect. Switch. Done with
Our-
the
Or
video.
you know what? This
Arthritis in the shoulder
this
is
is
not
our
cool.
hot tea that holds
There
up.
you go. I love you.
Just take it right here,
Take it to your head.
like right there.
Thank you. This is so sweet, you guys.
So you've been going all over too.
Oh my God, yes, I've gone everywhere with you except
Yeah.
for your quick little trip
I
up
did a
to,
quick little trip up this weekend
this
for my
weekend.
brother's detachment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a quick trip up because we were going up there for the Greenbrier event, and when we were going up there, we got the call that the commandant approved the Marine Corps League detachment. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm driving 12 hours. Are we gonna do this again? So we just hopped a quick flight up and
Yeah.
back so we could be there for the ceremonies, because I couldn't not miss that. That's like, you know, that's like your kid playing in a sporting event and not being there. So
Right.
it's like I can't have my brother like being named for detachment not be there. So it worked out really nicely.
Oh, good.
And then I got to fly right back today and be with you. Yeah.
You texted me this morning, and I was
As I was
working
jumping. Oh, good for you.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Good for you.
So I was telling Michelle that next year, actually it's just in a couple of weeks, but I'm speaking it now. Next year, you're going to see the athlete underneath this body.
I can't wait. I
Yeah.
think you're already there. You're already on your way.
So,
So
there you go.
you go. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you.
I'm just
Yeah.
changing my thought, and
There you go. It's, you know what? It's
part
just
of
a
it.
lifestyle change. Yeah. And I need to change back to that.
I know.
So I had that. I don't know. We got busy, but it's like, I need to jump back to that lifestyle change. So yeah, that's a great thing though. Yeah. 2019 is coming. It's a good time. I always like the end of the year, beginning of the year, because it's a great time to really sit back and think, what can I do to be better
Yeah.
mom, better,
Yeah, just
better-
reassess what's going on
Yeah.
with your life.
better everything, better health, better mom, better friend,
Yeah.
better with my stuff. So yeah, good for you. You got a jump start.
I got a
2019 yet.
yeah. Well, I usually meet my friend at the beginning of January. We go over our goals,
Mhm.
and then like now I'm meeting her today after this, and then we'll see how we did.
Oh, very
So,
cool.
It's nice if you have somebody to do it
Yeah.
with. So that
Yeah.
really helps.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. You're
It's
fine.
not like
You're
we're doing a
30, you're healthy.
checklist or anything like that.
Right.
It's just a conversation to say, okay, how do you feel about, all this
Yes,
stuff?
that's
And
a
then-
great thing.
So
Good for
just-
you. Good for you.
So
Well, I
this
felt
will be
bad. You
more-
should just like don't answer if
Well,
you're
that's why
working
I
out.
just said
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
so sorry.
No, it was perfect. I just happened to sit down. No, because now this is what I do. I go in my first 20 minutes, I work. Because I told the trainer, I'm like, listen, all I do is sit.
Yeah.
So I'm gaining even more weight.
It's hard when I did.
So
When
I'm like,
the more
I'm
something.
gonna sit. I might as well sit on a bike, and I did. So it was
That's true.
20 minutes doing work.
Very cool.
Good for you. Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I know that, right, though, because being when I was at the mortgage company, sitting 9 to 5 all day, and I was used to being active African mom, stay-at-home mom, teaching aerobics, and then going from to
Yeah.
just,
Sitting.
oh yeah,
All right,
it's
so
really,
exactly.
yeah,
My jobs were never sitting.
yeah.
Never. This
Same
is-
here.
This is the first
one.
time.
Yeah.
And it's just doing me. Those
Well,
steps
good for
aren't even
you.
helping.
good
my
for
gosh.
you to realize it and like, I'm just going to jump in and do something to get
All my
active.
jobs require me standing and running around all over the place.
But that's why you look the way you
Yeah,
look.
sure, yeah, I'm
we
so
need,
good.
Yeah, yeah, you are. We need, I need you. Jeff and I, we're going to like reassess 2019.
Yeah.
It's nice if you have somebody like do it with you. So
So
Yeah.
you used to be an aerobic instructor?
I did. You would never know.
No.
Oh my God.
Yes, I did. Yeah. 20s and 30s. Even after I had my 3 kids, I have a kid and jump right back. Yeah, but then things change, and then it's hard doing the desk job thing. I admire people that do like really rigorously sit there, and it's hard. I would even have to walk like every hour or so. I have to get up and do like a 5 or 10 minute walk around the building just to like stretch my legs and take a break. So
Well, I'm just on my couch.
yeah.
Really,
I get
do.
you.
I show up here at 2. So everything I do is at home, sit on my couch.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah. Jeff was like that too when he retired. But you're doing the right things now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm
You're
proud
on the
of you.
right path.
I'm proud of you. Yeah. What was it? My girlfriend says you either have to live or you die. So you better live. Yeah, might as well.
We always look forward to what's going to happen when we retire.
Yes.
Well, when you go to Busch Gardens and you can't ride a ride.
Yeah.
Like what happened to the day?
Yeah, exactly. That happened to Jeff. Yeah, he retired and he sat on the couch for like 3 months until he got another job.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching us on our Facebook Live. There we
I
go.
like your music.
That's going to make Michelle very happy.
I like your music selection, Michelle. I want to sing to be jolly, la 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 la.
Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. On in our gay apparel, la 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 la. Truly to Yuletide carol, la 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 rah rah rah. That's a little Christmas story.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
gotta have your fa rah 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 rahs.
We are in the Christmas year. We have a new calling. You can start a band. What are we doing in radio business? We can like start a new band. The Christmas Carolers of the Pop God. I don't know. With the Patriot Pup.
Right.
Right? Oh, we have issues.
That's so cool.
Tissues and tissues, baby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
right.
true.
Did it go grow 3 sizes today? Oh my God.
So much talent.
Doesn't get any more hometown than this.
Oh my God. Did you know last week we had 20 people in the studio? 20.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Downstairs was like, how are you going to do that? And Michelle and I looked, I don't know. We'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out. That's right. And it worked, right? You figured it out and it worked. That's awesome. That's great. Oh, that is great.
great.
Oh my goodness. Were they like a chorus or choir or something?
It was from
Oh.
a Popka High School.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, their winter concert is going to be Tuesday, December 18th at 5 o'clock. How's that at a
We should
Popka
go.
High School?
We've got to go.
Oh,
Did
no,
you
it's not
picture
5
it?
o'clock. Sorry, that's $5.
Oh, okay. That's even better. Well, I mean, that's fantastic. That things like that, like it gets you in the Christmas cheer. Seeing the high schoolers, seeing the middle schoolers, your local schools, you're supporting them, and it really honestly gets you in the Christmas cheer.
It really does.
Yeah.
And and it's shocking. I say shocking, but truly, you cannot imagine the talent that comes out of there.
It's amazing.
So if you've never gone, you will be in for a treat.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We're gonna have to. I'm glad you told me about that because I would love to do that. That would be a lot of fun.
And they sing all kinds of different styles of songs. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So it's not generic.
Right.
It's across the board.
That's awesome.
So that's again Tuesday the 18th.
And it's $5.
$5.
Okay, and it's in the evening, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think if you go on our site on
Yes.
Facebook, there's a link or there's
We'll
all kinds
find
of
it.
information.
Yeah, maybe we'll do dinner and then we'll go hear the Christmas carolers and get in the
Dinner and a
Christmas cheer.
caroling.
Very
Yes,
cool.
yes, I like it.
Yeah, why not? It's yeah. I mean, and what you heard here, oh my goodness.
I bet it was
Goosebumps.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it
And the
does just
teachers
give you goosebumps. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, That's super cool.
Love it.
I'm excited.
We're gonna have the
Christmas is coming.
band here, I think, Thursday?
You guys are amazing.
Oh my God. Where are
20
you
is
gonna put
nothing.
them all?
They're gonna have a marching band in here, guys. So you definitely have to listen for that one. That's like, boy, wow. The kitchen table is expanding by leaps and bounds, literally.
You can have like the woodwinds in here, the brass section down the
Right.
stairs.
The drummer's
No,
gonna be on the
percussion's over the
table.
other one.
Sticks on the table.
That's true. Yeah,
How
because the
fun.
first band we had in there, they're like, "How are you gonna do this?" I don't know.
Right.
I just know
It
to
just
bring
comes
them.
together.
Yeah, and so we had the four. There's like panic. We don't know what we're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah. They came in. They owned it, and it was spectacular. I
That's
even
so
had
awesome.
a guest, so they were in. Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, we could do that."
Yes, that's
Just keep-
awesome.
So we're up to 20 is the max we've had.
Wow. Well, if you need reinforcements or backups, we'll do our la-la-las.
We can do that. How
I'll
fun!
take it.
Oh my gosh, how
Yes.
fun is that? So
You're
we
so
have.
cute.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
so cute.
it again. We have Elisa Camera here. She's with Patriot Pup, American Brother. She's written these books. The series is for to teach little ones about patriotism, which is some kind of it's not even an
Yes.
art, but it's a lost art. People don't understand the meaning behind our flag and the
True.
sacrifices that go in to have our freedom. And so much so, even now with the current environment, being an immigrant,
Oh, so
Mhm.
true.
come on, we really need to focus on the basics of what it is to be
Yes.
American.
And if it starts at that
Mhm.
age, if it starts in elementary age, the basics of being an American, I think it carries with you throughout your years. And as you become an adult, it gives you a little bit more stability, a little bit more validity of how important it is to be American, to love our country, to be patriotic, and what it means.
Right.
So I feel like we've kind of neglected our elementary age kids.
Mhm.
Like, they're really sponges. If you present something to them, they're going to pick it up. So it just needs to be presented. So we're trying to do it in this warm, fuzzy, cute little puppy who gets into a little bit of mischief. With my brother as one of the characters, and then my son Hank.
Sweet. And then you're a part of it because you're a Patriot Pup to the core.
That's right.
To the core.
Inside and out.
I'm sure from your perspective to see the little ones, the faces of them coming up to you, and I can only imagine.
It's amazing, like, just seeing these kids with their eyes really big and they just like their jaw drops. They're like, oh my God, and they hug you. And especially like this last what was the last week we did Gary Sinise, and like just seeing all those kids there, that lost a parent somehow, and in active duty, and just them seeing me there and just being like, oh my God. And like when people find out that I do this, especially the veterans, like when we were up in
They're very appreciative.
when we were up in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune for the 35th, there's so many guys that found out. And you're talking about these big, strong Marine guys, that've been through hell and back, and they're crying and giving me the biggest hugs, saying, thank you for what you're doing. And I'm like, I'm just the person that gets in the
Yeah.
suit. And it means the world. And luckily last week we had no screamers.
Yes. They're really little weird. They get scared of mascots.
Yeah.
Rightly so. But you know what? At the Gary Sinise Snowball Express, there weren't any. They were all they were so happy to be there. They were so happy to be able to hug a big fuzzy Patriot Pup. They literally were running. I don't know if they'd heard of us or hadn't heard of us, but they were just running to us with open arms, and really special. And one of the cool things I'll tell you that they do, or they did when they were telling us, this is what we're doing, this is how they're very organized, is they said that each child has a lanyard, has their notification should they get lost, with the schedule, the parents, but also the red, white, and blue lanyards are Gold Star children that have been before, like say because of an older sibling or something like that. But the children with the gold lanyards, the yellow lanyards, they were children who lost their moms or dad in the last year. So we can identify them and give them a little bit more love.
Oh my gosh.
And we
what a thing
did.
to be a part of. I
It
can
was
only
amazing.
imagine how you felt leaving there.
It was moving.
Love.
I cried a lot. Love.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Lots and lots of love.
All right, well, you know what? We're going to take a break again. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then we have to get to the Christmas traditions.
Yes, of
Okay.
course. How exciting. It's coming.
Traditions.
It is coming.
Thanks for listening. 1520 WBZW. And thanks for watching online. We'll be right back right after this.
You make it so easy. I could just sit here and talk to her. You're so accommodating. You're like hostess with the mostess.
But I can talk to anything. I'm just like, hey, how's it
Yeah,
going? To the wall.
She's so shy. Well, she's so shy. Well, we're all so shy.
Yeah, right?
We're all
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible.
So much, yeah.
You put me in a room by myself with somebody I don't know, I will not speak. I will.
See, I'm the
I'll be in the
same way.
corner.
I gotta feel them
Really?
out.
No.
That's so
No.
funny. I don't see like that.
Oh my gosh. I need my anchor.
Wow, that's really
Crazy.
funny. It is
Huh.
crazy, isn't it? Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, and then once you're comfortable, then you're
Mhm.
okay. I'm
Mhm.
all right. I'm okay.
Yes, yes, it is that. I'm all right. I'm okay. We can do
That's my
this.
security blanket.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's how it was walking to that event a few weekends ago. I'm like, oh my, there were like 2,000 kids and adults. It was bigger than we thought. We walked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of scared.
So you were a part of the event.
Yeah.
Correct.
So did you have people that like handlers and to get you to where you needed to go?
We
and-
had some really great people. La Quinta hosted the Kids Zone, so we had a couple of people from there, and then we had a person from the Gary Sinise Foundation Snowball Express that was helping us, Elizabeth, and then the head producer who also coordinated everything and also directed everything
The
was
CFO.
David Hyra,
Yeah.
and he was great. He worked with us too. So
Oh, good. So you weren't alone.
never.
Yeah.
And anything we needed. Do you need a table? Okay. Do you need a table? Do you need this? Okay. Do you need this? Do you
Oh,
wanna eat?
good.
They were very
So
accommodating.
you just truly had to just go up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then was your campaign good? You were able to get all the puppies and
You know
You know,
what?
we did the
Oh,
coolest
I
thing.
could tell you a really good story we should do on air.
okay.
But yeah, so I was 1,000 short of making my GoFundMe, and then a military surplus store up in Camp Lejeune came up with a 1,500, and then I started crying.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, it gets better. I'm like, it couldn't get better. I was literally in tears. And her granddaughters, every year in January, they tell them that they have to, start donating for a charity. And at the end of the year, in December, they get to donate to that charity. So they have a gumball machine that's in the store, that's in the military surplus store. These two little girls run the gumball machine. And this year they wanted to, they FaceTime me, and I'm like, hi. And I thought, oh, this is so sweet, you girls, you're so cute. I thought they were going to give $20 or $30. This is so sweet, thank you. Like, just to teach them the value of giving. And they're like, well, this year our gumball machine makes $500. And Miss Elisa, we love Patriot Pup, so we wanted to give it to you. I completely lost it. I can't even talk about it, makes me cry. That there are kids today that have charitable hearts because they have parents that taught them, and they live, off of a military base, but they get the importance, and they're like, we didn't want these Gold Star kids to not have the puppies, so we wanted to make sure that we give you the final bit to help.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was so
It's
sweet.
pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing. So when we were there, I wanted to get the kids to FaceTime with Mr. Sinise, but he was there for closing ceremonies on opening. So what I did is I had the kids, the actual kids, the Gold Star kids, FaceTime these two gumball girls.
Oh,
And it was really sweet. Yeah, they're like, thank you for helping, Miss Elisa get, so we have the puppies, and, and the little girls were like, this is really cool. You're welcome. It's like,
because
wow.
again, they don't probably never get that.
right.
You know,
we
when
get
you
that
see it
back.
one time and
Yeah, yeah. So they were super excited. Yeah, they were super excited. I was just so moved. Yeah, I'm trying to get with the local newspaper in Jacksonville so they can do some type of, that deserves some type of recognition.
Yeah.
For kids to come up with $500 from a gumball machine, and then to think of how
not
important
to
it is.
keep it.
Yeah.
You know, because you can salivate over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially at little kids, that's a lot. But their parents have raised them that it's really important. You're going to give back every year. So they start at the beginning of the year. They check the gumball machine. They add gumballs to it. They take the, they take the gumball money. They put it aside. They count it, and this is what they came up with for this year. So yeah, it's nice to know there are good kids out there like that do that.
Yeah.
So
There is hope.
yes, there is.
hope.
Yeah. Today's world is tough. So
It is.
it's inspiring when you hear stories like that, because there should be more of them. There should be more stories like that. So.
Well, and and I think part of the problem is that they just don't. It doesn't make news because why?
Good point.
Why?
Oh, that is such a good point. That is such a good point.
What we do here is really not the norm.
Yeah, it's true. Y'all are unique, special, because you really hit the stories that are the whys. You're hitting the stories that should question, why are we doing this? well, we're going to give you the answer.
Yeah.
WBDW is going to give you the answer. This is why we should be doing this. You know, and there needs to be more answers because stuff like this is getting swept under the table, and that's what needs to change, I think. So we're all trying in different ways.
Yeah.
We're trying. Yeah, and it's definitely an uphill climb.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
On the normal news, for every 6 bad things, they do one big,
Good
like,
thing.
you know, good thing.
Well, and you know what? There's a guy that came on here, and this was the first time he ever mentioned it to media, right? We're gonna call this media. This would, you know,
Yeah. Right.
But it was truly an exclusive. We just put the information out there. Well, then it's gone. Now it's gone bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was telling Michelle, I'm like, you know what? Nobody's getting it. They're not understanding what this man is going through and what his family has to do. So every time I see a thing, I'm like, they're not talking about how you can help. They're not talking about
You're right.
because all it is that it's that 3-minute maybe.
Maybe. Oh, you are so on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is terrible, right?
Yeah.
Things have to change.
When somebody punches somebody, it's 10 minutes. But when
Oh, for
something
sure.
like this, you know,
Mhm.
yeah.
Or else they don't even want to entertain it, want to hear it. You know, I was surprised that we didn't have any local media coverage on Mikot's detachment ceremony Saturday.
Up there?
Wow.
No media coverage. I have one friend who works for a TV station that might try and pick something up on it. And then our local hometown paper in Hinton, West Virginia, our small paper, they're going to do something on it. But there was nothing else. And you know, the funny thing is, it's like huge for the state of West Virginia, not just our little town, but it's the first time in 14 years.
Yeah.
14
Well, now
years.
did anybody down here? Have you talked to them? Did Papa Chief or
No, I will. I
John?
haven't. Yeah.
Fury?
Okay, I definitely will.
Do you know how to contact them?
I think you gave me his information
I can give
before.
it to you
I'll
again.
look through my notes. Or yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to give it to me again, that would be great. Oopsies. My purse is not there.
Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, 1520 WBZW. This is your hometown with Debbie O'Brien. And we're talking with Elisa Camera here, and she is the author of Patriot Pup and The American Brother. And then we also have Brittany Manick here, right?
Yep.
And so we've been talking about like you're traveling and everything that you're doing to get the word out, and then having your brother Mikot being, oh my gosh, named, recognized, all that up there in Beckley, West Virginia, which is a huge hub up there.
Yep.
I'm from, Pittsburgh, so that's
Yes.
that place that you make that decision of how you're going to get home.
Yes.
Get to Beckley.
Which way we going, baby?
Yeah. So that's just incredible what you've done. And you
Wow.
know how this is a movement.
I hope so. I really hope it is a movement. Hopefully, it's twofold. He's not forgotten.
Right.
Those Marines from Beirut aren't forgotten. And we've turned this tragedy into something amazing by creating Patriot Pup and trying to teach our children the value of patriotism.
Mm-hmm. Which is very special in and of itself, because again, what you were saying the last time that you were here is that when you go up North Virginia area, Washington DC, they kind of get it because it's more
Definitely.
concentrated.
Good word.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here, this is the transient state. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just love you. Yeah, you're well said. Exactly.
Tell my kids, I see
Yeah.
the whole picture.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Tell mine too.
Right, honey.
It's true.
So I do want to kind of shift it though, because I do really I'm interested in your Christmas traditions.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? Traditions are really important, and it's important in our country too, because that's foundation for generations to come. So, you start a family tradition, you hope generation through generation that tradition continues. Same with our American traditions. So we've kind of broadened it to Patriot Pup, but yeah, on a smaller scale, on a family scale, we have family traditions, and it's important, and sometimes my kids are like, oh, Mom, when are we going to stop this? And I'm like, never. Never, because it's really important. You laugh now, but then 10 years from now, if and when I'm not here, you can go, oh my gosh, we always did this, and we're going to have to continue it. Yeah, it's really important.
That is
So I think
very
it's
true.
great that you're doing this, because it's a great segment.
Well, and you know what? It broadens us to other people's cultures. It broadens us to maybe you're missing something, oh, let's add this.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
true.
Because that's such a
Yeah,
great
I was
idea.
hearing Michelle talk about how somebody does the, celebrate a different country
Oh,
every year.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's a huge undertaking, but wow.
You want
that's
to know
cool.
what she said last year? This is what Megan, while she was leaving, she's like, I don't have any traditions. This is and so she starts talking. This was in the hallway. And my mom dropped, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Seriously? Wow.
Nothing?
You had to just go, whoop.
I guess you just get in the mode and you don't
Yes.
realize what you
What
have.
you're doing, what you
Yeah.
have. Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
what is it that you do?
Recently,
Like the one thing you just will never, ever, ever
well, yeah.
want.
This started when I was little, but actually their children are always allowed to open one gift on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And it's kind of evolved. It's still a tradition through the years. The children open one. It's usually after we get back from midnight mass, which is our tradition as well. We go as a family, but then they're allowed to open one present. They have to go to bed because Santa won't come if he knows that you're awake, so you have to be asleep. So what we always would be told. But they would always have one present that they could open Christmas Eve. And now it's evolved into the one Christmas normally is everybody has pajamas.
Yeah.
Like cute pajamas. So they come to kind of expect it. Every once in a while kind of change it up, with some funny stuff. But normally it's that they usually open one present for Christmas. And we've been doing that since I was little, since my parents were little, and it's just evolved through the years. So yeah, it's not anything major, but it's a tradition. So we're gonna keep it going. So yeah, we usually go to midnight mass and then we usually open up a present.
And usually midnight mass, that's something that'll keep you awake.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are
Because you're
not
looking forward
kidding.
to what's gonna happen.
Yes, you are not kidding. So true. And then it's like, okay, from hearing all the music and the Christmas carol and everything, midnight mass, it's like you think that you're tired and it's 1 a.m., but you're like, yes, let's go back and open the present. This is so exciting.
You don't have to go to church for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so it really produces more energy than we wanted.
Well, and you know what? That midnight mass, that's the kickoff of Christmas.
Absolutely.
And that's the other thing that people don't understand. It doesn't start the day after Thanksgiving, and then
Yeah,
our
right.
12 days is right now.
Right.
Just because.
Right.
But truly, Christmas Day is one.
Yes,
Yep.
it's day one.
And then
It's day one.
Mhm.
You're right.
and the 12th day is January 6th.
Yes. And that's going to be here before we know it too.
Before we know it.
Yeah. So
And the sad thing is that by January 6th, everything's done. The day after Christmas, actually, the Christmas songs on air are done.
I know. I
Mhm.
don't like it. Well, we always used to keep ours up for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably another tradition that's probably not a good tradition, but we will keep our lights up. And we probably will this year too, because we've been traveling so much. We're going to go this evening to put up our tree, and actually my son and Jeff are home putting up the Christmas lights on the roof. So, and it will stay up for a while, especially this year since we're just now going to be able to enjoy it.
Here's the question, Elisa. Has it ever made it into March?
No.
Okay, well, guilty.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm impressed. All right, she wins top dog. Top dog.
Even for me, too. Yeah, no.
No, yeah, top dog on that.
Well, when you have to do a 15-foot tree by yourself, it waits till March.
Yeah.
You're going to make it work for a while.
All that effort.
I
You're
get
going
it.
to enjoy that tree.
You're gonna
That's
love it.
right. Every time you walk by it, you're going to tell me how much you love and adore it.
It took me 5 hours and 2 ladders. We're keeping it up.
Wow.
Just to put the lights on.
That is so funny.
It'll be a whole new Christmas story.
So what's one of your traditions that you do?
Well, I had a few traditions. One of my favorite ones was when we still did like the big family Christmas. My family's gotten a little separated a little
Yeah.
bit, but I loved it when my dad would do the presents. Like he used to keep like push it off on me, and I'm like, no, you're doing it. And the other one was after we did all the presents, because he was like Santa Claus. My grandma always used to make scrambled eggs and bacon and toast for everybody. And that was just a thing. And they would always come every Christmas. Always. They always came every Christmas. I do miss that. But, my grandma's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
But,
But you're going to continue
Yes.
that tradition.
yes.
So that's kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled
The
eggs
smell of scrambled
It
eggs.
just makes you happy.
and bacon, toast, you betcha.
That's
Bacon.
so cool.
And
That
a
is
Christmas
cool.
tree until March.
Christmas tree till March.
Was it a real one? Or was
It's
it
been both. It's been both in the past.
Wow.
So this isn't just one time.
But I used to do it for my parents, like, you know, when I was living at home, and then a few years afterwards, because they had like 20-foot ceilings. I was the one that always decorated the whole house. Like, I was the decorator.
Yeah,
So
you have guests that are breaking records here.
So yeah, I just I insisted on having a tree that looked scaled,
Right.
you know, and as a result, I had to deal with it. So we did it on my terms.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Laziness.
And that's when you walk into the house and it's like, whoa,
Right there. Right there. Exactly.
you need a little Christmas.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Martha Stewart
Maybe
has
a
trees
little
up all year. All year.
There you go.
She said she had like 20 in one room.
See?
Did you hear that?
In
Yeah.
one room?
Yeah, because it'd be like this room and you have the little ones, big 20.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
I do have a forest in my living room right now.
You do?
7.
Don't tell me you have 20. Oh, you have 7 Christmas trees?
7. Yeah.
Wow.
my God.
7's a lucky
You got me
number.
beat.
That's a good thing.
Well, you know, it's because we didn't want artificial, but
Oh,
we needed
yeah.
to do it to breathe. And
Yes.
so one year they just started coming at us, these artificial trees. And Mark started pulling them down and he
That's
put it in the corner. And I'm like, my gosh, that's the forest.
We have a forest.
A
It's not a
Christmas
Christmas
forest.
tree, it's a Christmas forest.
Yes.
That should be my new book. Patriot
Patriot
Pup
Pup is a
visits
Christmas-
Debbie's Christmas forest.
Yeah, with Patriot. The
Yeah,
Patriot
with,
Pup.
yeah, with Patriot Pup.
And his pals.
Wow. Yeah, I'm learning all kinds of things today.
Oh my God. You know what? This was awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
for having us.
Flies here.
It does. Have
Thank you
fun.
so much for having us. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you.
Merry
We'll be right back. Yeah, you